but then it ended hella funny. I'll give it to him. But all right, now let's go ahead and get over to the next video real quick with, of course, Hakeem Jeffries appearing on State of Union on CNN.
Here with me now is House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I want to start with what you released this past week, a list of 10 proposed reforms, including but not limited to a mandate for judicial warrants to search private property and a ban on masks, also a mandate for agents.
And remember, what the DHS policy says when it comes to ICE is they can go ahead and enter houses with an administrative warrant if there's a final order of removal for that undocumented immigrant. So they don't ever want to put that in there, but hey, I'm gonna tell it to you now.
To wear body cameras. Now, Republicans say they are open to some of these, but others, especially the specifics on judicial warrants, are non-starters. Only 5 days now until the Department of Homeland Security will shut down. Are you willing to accept anything less than this full list of demands?
Not at this point. We start with a basic premise that taxpayer dollars should be used to make life more affordable for everyday Americans, not brutalize or kill American citizens like Renee Nicole Good or Alex.
Bro, I'm sorry, but what does that got to do with, like, bro? What does that got to do with ICE? Like, how you go try to make it a point of affordability and then talk about ICE and then you want to shut down DHS? But here's the problem, though. That's not going to stop ICE. ICE is still getting funded. So, like, where's the real argument here? This is insane to hear. Like, really think about what he's saying. Well, we're upset with ICE, so we're going to go ahead and take it out of all of the other departments in DHS, except for ICE, because they've already been funded. Shout out to the big, beautiful bill.
It's pretty. We know that ICE is completely and totally out of control. They've gone way too far, and the American people want them reined in because immigration enforcement should be fair, it should be just, and it should be humane. So dramatic changes are necessary to the manner in which the Department of Homeland Security officers are conducting themselves before any funding bill should move forward.
So you say very clearly that this, and it's clear in your proposals, this is about reining in ICE and the CBP. But those agencies, as you well know, are very well funded already through the Big Beautiful Bill Act. That's what the president called it, and it passed last year. So what that means is that a shutdown would really only impact unrelated agencies, FEMA, TSA, FAA. So how?
Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Thank you. Tell this dumbass again, because apparently they don't get it and they don't see how dumb this sounds. Like, think about it. When CNN is even got to tell you, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, this seems kind of like fruitless. Like, you want to go after ICE, you're upset with ICE, you can't defund ICE, so you want to shut down DHS when we just had a snowstorm, so which we're going to need FEMA. You're going to make things hard for the average American again when it comes to TSA. Like, are you serious? All to get ICE, by the way, which is not going to be affected by this in any way, shape, or form.
Well funded already through the Big Beautiful Bill Act. That's what the president called it, and it passed last year. So what that means is that a shutdown would really only impact unrelated agencies, FEMA, TSA, FAA. So how does pushing for these changes and potentially not getting there help rein in an immigration crackdown?
Well, our plan is to get there on behalf of the American people. That's why we need to press forward aggressively and ensure that there are legislative changes enacted as part of any DHS spending bill, because that's the way that you change behavior. And these are common sense changes. Things like,
I mean, bro, yeah, you would change behavior if you make cuts to ICE. Then, yeah, you can get them to change behavior. But since you can't cut nothing on ICE, you won't be able to get them to change behavior until next year. So what you're doing doesn't make any sense. Like, you're going to cut funding for other departments that you have no problem with. They're not the problem, it's ICE. But you want to change behavior? Then go ahead and try to cut funding for ICE, but you can't. So what you're saying don't make sense. And shout out to my man Jay said, Hakeem looks like he got darker, or is that just me? Yeah, it does. I mean, hey, what can I say? The man just got back from vacation.
Mandatory body cameras. Judicial warrants should absolutely be required before ICE agents can storm private property and rip everyday Americans out of their homes in such a violent fashion. Of course, we need to make sure that there are no masks so that ICE is conducting itself like every other law enforcement agency in the country. That shouldn't be controversial. It shouldn't be controversial that we are demanding that the Fourth Amendment constitutional protections are adhered to as it relates to the way in which ICE is conducting itself. We also need to make sure that state and local officials have the ability to conduct independent investigations so that when ICE or CBP or other officers violate the law, they can be investigated and prosecuted and held accountable for those violations of state and local law, not being able to govern themselves with impunity, which is the case right now.
All right, guys, make sure you guys double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by getting us to 150 likes. So go ahead and double tap that screen for me.
Just real quick, are there any negotiations going on about these reforms that you want?
Unfortunately, we haven't heard back from the White House or Mike Johnson or Speaker or Leader Thune in terms of the demands that we've put on the table, common sense demands on behalf of the American people. And so in our view, the ball is in the court right now of the Republicans. Either they're going to agree to dramatically reform the way in which ICE and other immigration enforcement agencies are conducting themselves so that
or you're gonna shut down DHS and not shut down ICE or anything, not stop ICE operations, but you're gonna shut down what, the FFA, FEMA, I mean the TSA. Is like, and once again, these are people that's gonna go without pay, and you're just gonna sit there and blame the Republicans. Like, are you serious?
behaving like every other law enforcement agency in the country, or they're making the explicit decision to shut down the Coast Guard, shut down FEMA, and shut down TSA, and that would be very unfortunate.
I want to turn to a big debate about elections. The president said this week that, or this past week, that he wanted to nationalize elections at the White House and on Capitol Hill. They say that what they mean legislatively is pushing what they call the SAVE Act, which would mandate Americans show proof of citizenship like a birth certificate and also potentially more information about their registration to vote. Now, I understand you don't support things like a passport, for example, but requiring basic ID in order to vote is really popular. A Pew poll from a few months ago showed 83% of Americans.
Hey, and shout out to my man, the Cap Hunter. He says, welcome back from the depths of shadow ban land. Hey, I appreciate that, bro. Man, had to literally go through a week of shadow ban, but hey, we're back, guys. We're back.
Including
Appreciate that,
71% of your fellow Democrats support requiring an ID to vote. Why are they wrong?
Try not to be racist while I was saying it. Actually, F it. You know what? Let's get into a little bit of racist rhetoric here, because I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Like, I know I probably played, this is probably my third time playing this video, but I'm just so dumbfounded on the arguments that they have for not going for voter ID. And apparently it's because black people are just too, poor, underprivileged. I don't know. I guess we live in the jungle to where we just can't make our way out of it to get to the DMV. So I don't know, guys. According to these people, we're just not smart enough. We just don't have enough money to afford a $20 license. I don't think it's that expensive, to be quite honest with you. But let's hear the accidental racism.
What opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely. Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also would make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of
black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, like you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the like African Americans.
Bro, that was probably the worst one. And she just said it with a straight face. Like,
for most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or like they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression of like black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, like you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the like African Americans.
bro, I'm like, a huge population of the African community in Florida is felons. Wrong. It's like, bro, literally it's probably like maybe like 2 to 5%. But to sit there and say, yeah, you know, majority of black people in Florida are felons, I'm like, well, damn, it goes to show what you think about us.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? Carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know anybody any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID. So, like, we know what we need to carry around.
I mean, bro, people had their IDs since, like, bro, middle school. Middle school, they was telling you to get a state ID. By high school, you should have had a state ID, to be quite honest with you. If you didn't have it by middle school, then you was for sure going to get it by high school. I mean, of course, if you want to go out there and get your license, I mean, you know, there's that process as well. So there's been plenty of opportunities for, well, black kids in, well, the hood, the projects, to get an ID. I mean, if not a state ID, at least a driver's license. And I mean, it's the easiest to get a state ID. You're going to get that by the time you're in, like, what, high school? By the time you're in college, you'll have it. Like, I don't really get, like, what's so crazy about, or what's so hard about getting a state ID and why Dems think that we just can't go out there and get one. And they're mainly talking about, like I say, black people in, well, low-income areas. And that's just not true. Well, shout out to appreciate the baller alert, by the way. Dems need to make up their minds. First, they wanted body cams. Then earlier, they said they were worried about them invading protesters' privacy. Now they want them again. Make up your damn minds. The whiplash is annoying. Yeah, it is. I'm telling you. They don't know what they truly want. They really don't. Honestly, I'll be real with you. What they wanted, they thought they were going to get if they, well, honestly sensationalized the Renee Good and Alex Petty deaths. They thought they were going to get ICE to remove themselves, give these other Democratic states or cities a blueprint to go by. All right, cool. Just don't send local help. Allow a couple protesters to die, and we'll get ICE to back off. And that's their strategy. It's a very savage strategy, but this is what they've come to.
Everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right? That's the only thing
I mean, if you want to get a job out here as a black American, you know, as a U.S. citizen, you're going to need an ID. I mean, it's so essential to have one. I mean, it's kind of crazy that they think we wouldn't be able to get one. It's absolutely hilarious.
With me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Do you have a problem getting there if you have to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
No problem. I mean, we ain't gonna do the whole video, but y'all get my point. I'm not really sure what the argument is against voter ID, but I mean, I found it, and well, it's racist, and that's their best argument for it, sadly. I wish they had something else, but I mean, I guess this is the best they got.
71% of your fellow Democrats support requiring an ID to vote. Why are they wrong?
I haven't said that they're wrong. We know that states are the ones who are empowered to conduct elections, and every state should be allowed to decide.
And that's fine, but if we cannot trust states to hold an election integrity, to have that integrity to make sure their elections are being conducted correctly, then I'm gonna be real with you. It's like I'll be real with you. I'm not going to say, oh, states' rights when the states are literally cheating their elections or these districts are cheating on their elections. Like, I'm sorry, but then that means we cannot trust the state and it would have to be federalized. When this law was first made, this was under the assumption that we were going to hold fair elections. We were going to have election integrity. But apparently we can't trust that with some of these states. It is what it is. And I mean, I hate that reality, but that's what we're coming to. We're getting to the point where they're arguing for, oh, well, what about states' rights when it comes to elections? And I get that. But if you have a history of, well, these elections not being held with the highest integrity, I mean, then can you really make that argument? When the argument's supposed to be like, yeah, states' rights because they know how to do it the best. But if they're not doing it the best, then maybe we do need an outside force on this or an outside entity, which would be the government. Am I 100% for it? No, but if this keeps progressing and we keep seeing that these states don't want to enforce voter ID and they don't want to have any type of election integrity, then I'm going to have to be on that side of the government getting in. It is what it is. Oh, and shout out Tove. He's like, my 3-year-old has state ID. Can I get one for my wait, can I get one for my 2-week-old? I mean, hey, like I said, is this essential to have ID on you? Dude, when I was a kid, I had a passport. Like, bro, I had a whole passport as a little kid. Like, when I was 7. So it's kind of crazy how like y'all don't think people can get state IDs.
The best way to proceed to ensure that there's a free and fair election. Here in New York, there are in fact voter identification requirements. The question is that what Republicans are trying to do is to engage in clear and blatant voter suppression. They know that if there's a free and fair election in November, they're going to lose. In fact, Republicans have been losing.
Well, hold on. Like, what does requiring voter ID have to do with a free and fair election? That is a free and fair election, is having voter ID. You have to confirm that you're a citizen to be in this election. There you go. Voter ID. Now there's the fair part. There's the fair. So, I mean, you can't say there are free and fair elections if you want to take away the fair part, which is voter ID. If it's being shown that you guys are literally allowing undocumented people to vote in your elections. I mean, what's so fair about that? Like, please explain that.
Every single election since Donald Trump was sworn in January of last year, including most recently decisively in Texas, and of course, losing all across the country, up and down the ballot in the November off-year elections in places like New Jersey or Virginia or New York.
Yeah, and they've been losing. And I mean, Virginia is a good example. They have a requirement to show your ID, and Democrats won very, very handily across the way. So why not maybe even just take that off the table and say, okay, maybe not a passport or birth certificate, but show ID.
Well, first of all, every state is empowered to be able to make the decision on their own, and we completely and totally support that. What Donald Trump wants to do is try to nationalize the election, translation, steal it, and we're not going to let it happen. We stop them in terms of—
what? This guy here, he wants to steal the election by making sure that people actually have an ID or actual American citizens are voting. That's how he wants to steal the election, by maintaining voter integrity. Oh my goodness. It's such a steal. I mean, it's such a duplicitous plan. I just can't believe it. It's like, are you fucking serious? I'm sorry for my language at this point, but bro, you're a fucking idiot. Like, Hakeem Jeffries is a fucking idiot. Like, there's no freaking way you're making that argument.
Gerrymandering efforts where they were going to try to redraw congressional maps in red states throughout the nation, not expect Democrats to respond forcefully and try to rig the midterms. They failed. We've stopped Donald Trump from being able to federalize the National Guard, which we believe was probably part of some toxic attempt to unleash troops on American cities all across the nation and intimidate people from voting. And we're going to stop him from nationalizing the election. This is going to be a free and fair election. It's going to be conducted like every other election, where states and localities have the ability to administer the laws.
I do want to ask about a video that President Trump shared, a racist video, and it depicted former President Obama, First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. about.
Man, shout out to my man Jed. He says, I want ID and birth certificate / legal papers to vote. And then, bro, I'm with you. It's like, I think even the Dems will be with you on that one. Like, we overwhelmingly vote for this. But here's the thing. We overwhelmingly want this. But the Dems are literally going to sit in our face and say, oh, no, this is racist. Or, oh, they're trying to get people not to vote. I mean, by showing ID, that's not going to want to make people want to vote. What are you saying? Like, I'm be real with you. This just sounds like you're just being real with us at this point and saying the quiet part out loud. We, like, if we have voter ID, we lose. And I'm not saying that's the fact of the matter, but that's how Hakeem Jeffries is putting it. It's like, well, if you guys enforce voter ID, we lose. And if that's the case, I mean, and that just says a lot. That says a lot right there. I mean, it goes to show how much illegals have been voting in our elections and how long this is, and honestly, how well they've been trying to hide it. Or honestly, well, how bad they've been trying to hide it.
12 hours later, the White House blamed a staffer for the post, removed it, but the president says he doesn't need to apologize because he didn't make a mistake.
He definitively needs to apologize. It was a disgusting video, and the president was rightly and appropriately and forcefully denounced by people all across the country, Democrats and even a handful of Republicans who finally showed some backbone in pushing back against the president's malignant, bottom feeder-like behavior.
I do want to quickly ask about something else that the president wanted to do. He asked your counterpart in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, for the chance to rename both Dulles Airport and also Penn Station after him. And if Schumer agreed to that, then he would lift a freeze on $16 billion freeze for New York and New Jersey and the Gateway Tunnel there. What's your reaction to that?
Listen, it's another example of Donald Trump trying to force presidential graffiti down the throats of the American people. It's completely and totally unacceptable. Of course, I'm a hard no, as I believe is the case with Leader Schumer, House and Senate Democrats. The president is unlawfully—
I don't know, man. According to what reporters are saying, it says that Schumer's the one who made that offer. So it seems like Schumer is somewhat trying to, get on Trump's good side by, hey, you can put your name on it. Just give us the money and we'll let you put your name on it, bro. We know how you love to put your name on things. I mean, it's a good way to sell to Trump, bro. Just say Trump could put his name on it and he's like 50% in. So, I mean, it is what it is. Now, shout out to, she said he will steal it by making sure only American citizens can vote. So letting only American citizens vote is how you steal elections. Make it make sense. Exactly, Tove. They can't. It's just like, that's really what you're telling us? So by making sure only American citizens vote, he's trying to steal the election. I mean, I've heard it all, guys. We've now officially heard it all.
Holding funds for Gateway. This guy,
like, you're not letting us cheat, so you're trying to steal the election. It's like, wow, okay.
Priorities are completely and totally unhinged. But this is the Republican Party right now. These are people who engaged in the largest cut to Medicaid in American history as part of their one big ugly bill. They ripped food out of the mouths of hungry children, seniors, and veterans. They failed to do anything to make life more affordable for the American people.
Bro, if y'all let this government shut down, that's literally what you guys are about to do right now. When y'all shut down the government, you guys was ready to let snap in. That's literally what you guys did, but somehow your base was you was able to convince your base that it's the Republicans' fault, even though you guys were voting no to fund SNAP. You guys are voting no for government and military pay. You guys would have voting no on that, but somehow you convinced your base to blame the Republicans. I mean, very clever. I like what you did with the brainwashing there. But hopefully now, God willing, maybe by some miracle in the sky, the Democratic Party will wake the fuck up and realize that they don't have your best interest when they're shutting down the government, and they just think that you guys are dumb enough to go along with it as it's their fault, as they're pretty much saying, yeah, we're about to screw all these people because of ICE without affecting ICE whatsoever. And somehow you guys are going to sit there and blame Republicans? I mean, I cannot wait for these arguments on it. I just can't wait. Hopefully it's avoided. But if the government does get shut down or DHS does get shut down, I cannot wait to hear the mental gymnastics for how you guys justify this. I really can't wait for it.
And in that same one big ugly bill, enacted massive tax breaks for their billionaire donors and gave ICE a $75 billion slush fund so they could kill and brutalize American citizens like Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy. These people are completely and totally out of control. The American people know it, which is why we're going to continue to press the case to lower the high cost of living, to fix our broken healthcare system, to clean up corruption, and to actually get things done as Democrats for the American people.
Okay, thank you so much for
This
being
guy. All right, and shout out to my man Jordan with the Bartle Dude. Appreciate the support, my friend. And shout out to Toe. She says, media. So how do we fix it, Jeffries? Trump bad. Yeah. Trump bad. Yeah. Trump bad. Trump horrible. Yeah. Yep. Republicans are evil. Like, oh my gosh. I think you said read, but I think you meant wah or something like that. But I get what you're saying. It's like, so how do we fix it, Jeffries? Trump bad, Trump horrible, Republicans evil. That's all I got to tell you. I have no real solutions, but all I got to tell you is that Trump bad. And that's what's killing me about the Democratic base. All they got to say is that, and you guys just follow it along. No matter how dumb it is, no matter how much it don't make no sense why they're doing it, all they got to say is, don't worry, look, we're going against Trump. And you guys will just go along with it, even if it's at your own detriment.
here this morning, Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader
Tough.
in the House of Representatives.
All right, though, let's get back to that, recapping that Trump interview.
Border crossings are at historic lows, right?
You know, it's so nice that you said
but if you look at the
Tom, what you just said.
It's true.
No, but it's so nice. I hope you air it. It's so nice what you said, because that's called good reporting. That's called fair reporting. Now give me the second part.
Now let me give you the second part of the question. But if you look at the polls, most Americans say they don't like how you've handled immigration, right? Especially what's happened in Minneapolis. How do you change their minds?
Well, I don't believe the polls, for one thing, because how can you not I saw a poll in the border where I'm at 55%, okay?
The polls show that Americans aren't against the deportations. It's the handling of immigration.
You know, polls, it depends on the way you ask the question. I saw a poll in the border, I'm at 55%. Well, how can I only be at 55% when everybody agrees that the border is totally, beautifully closed and nobody's coming in unless they come in legally, et cetera. It couldn't be better. I should be at 100%. I don't believe the polls. And some polls, I mean, I could show you polls where I'm polling at 69% popularity, and some polls where I have one at
we lost the White House to share that with us. Yeah.
71%. And then I have polls where I'm at 44% and 42%. The polls are almost dishonest, almost as dishonest as some of the reporters themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm getting very good polls. I'm getting very good polls on crime prevention, on law and order, and on the border. I have to. And I'm starting to get great polls on the economy, which I think
the polls on the economy aren't they're not great.
They should be great.
They should be. So why aren't they? If you believe that,
I don't know. I mean, look, I've got
Americans tell us, we hear this. I mean, we're going to get into the economy later, but I mean, they tell us they don't feel it.
I mean, yeah, Americans are complaining about affordability, and rightfully so. I mean, I get it. But I always like to bring up this website right here on the whole, cost of living, right? Because we got to get real, guys. When it comes to these guys who are, complaining about affordability, not to be that guy, but yes, mainly in blue states. Yes, blue states, blue cities are the ones complaining about affordability. And I mean, now I'm going to go ahead and be a dick, and I'm going to go ahead and show you this. Let's go ahead and compare, like I said, my home state of Ohio, shout out to Ohio, and for these people over here in New Jersey. I mean, bro, God bless you guys, because y'all getting hit, because New Jersey is 35% more expensive than Ohio. You guys, in groceries alone, pay 36% more in groceries. So if you're telling me that groceries hasn't went down whatsoever, I mean, I get it. I get it. Yeah, of course I get it. I mean, you're paying a 30% more than me. So basically, look at what you paid for in groceries and take 36% off that, and that's pretty much what I'm paying. That's tough, is it not? So I mean, shoot, let's go to New York. I mean, New York is also more egregious, because I think you guys really need to get this, that the Republicans are not really making the right argument. I'm not sure why, because it's such an easy argument to make. It's just like, yo, we're better at running more affordable states. So Republicans run more affordable states, while these blue states tax your ass to death. Therefore, you're paying more for across the board. New York, 25% more expensive than Ohio. Once again, damn near close to 30% different in groceries alone. Childcare, 43%. Thank God I ain't got no children yet. But in housing, 36%. So yeah, when most people complain about affordability, and I'm hearing it from blue states. I'm not like red states complain too, but I'm mostly hearing it come out of people who live in blue states that the prices aren't getting any better. And I mean, I can see why. Like there's such a discrepancy on what I pay to what you pay. And that's tough. And my heart hurts for you guys. But I mean, vote better. And don't fall for the Democratic trap of, oh, we're here for affordability. I mean, look at Virginia. Did Virginia help out with affordability too much? They voted for that girl Spanberger on affordability. But I mean, let's be real. Virginia ain't any more affordable. Like they're still there's still a 30% difference in when it comes to groceries. And Virginia is ran by mostly Democrats. I know it had a Republican governor, but it was mainly ran by Democrats. And look at this BS. Now they got one thing going on, 2% less in transportation. That's nice. But I mean, across the board, child care, 50%, groceries, 30%, housing up 30%. Like, I mean, you can run the numbers yourself. You don't even got to use this website. You can find your own to use and you'll get the same numbers.
18
And I love when the Dems run away from that because they know it's true.
$1 trillion being invested into the country. Biden had less than $1 trillion for 4 years, and the whole country was going to credit.
When does America feel it?
You know that if they won that election, and we won in a landslide, if they won that election, this country I think it was finished. I actually think it was finished. You would have had people, instead of 18 coming in, 18 trillion, you would have had $10 trillion leaving. I think our country, I think we would have been Venezuela on steroids.
I have a question about immigration still looking forward now. Your goal during the election was to deport everyone who came here illegally under President Biden. Is your mission now to deport